this is Nayalla. Thank you so much for joining me again today. So today what I would like to do is share with you an EFT tapping video for lack and struggle mentality. Now I have already covered this in a earlier video, one of the first EFT tapping videos that I did. Obviously I'm a lot more confident in sharing EFT tapping with you now. So what I decided to do is go back and revise some of my older ones, or some of the older videos. I thought it was very relevant right now to cover or revise the lack and struggle EFT tapping. Unfortunately, with what is playing out in the world right now, many of us are faced with either the possibility or we are actually losing things from our life. And when this happens, it's so easy then to go into worst case scenarios and to get stuck in our thoughts, really. So all we can see then is lack, and all we can see is struggle. So this EFT tapping, I am hoping, will plant a seed into your subconscious and allow you then to become more conscious of what you do have, so that even though you may be in the process of losing things or not able to do what you would normally do, it's not going to impact your mental health quite so much. You're going to be able to balance it out and still see what you already do have. Because what tends to happen is we become very blinkered, like I said, and then just focus on the lack or just focus on the struggle. So this is about balancing it out. Now I've tried to do this video a few times, and I thought the divine was having a bit of a laugh at my expense, really. I decided to do a video with the word struggle, and all of a sudden it's becoming a real struggle to do the video. And Metatron actually asked me to sort of zoomed in on a part of my earlier day. So I went out for a walk and my attention was drawn to some ants. So as I was in the process of having to yet again stop filming because something around me happened, I was asked to go to a book which speaks about the message from ants. So you guys have actually got a message from your ant guide. So I'm going to share that with you and then continue with the EFT tapping. This is very unusual to do this, so obviously there's a message here for you. So ultimately, in reality, only your own steps count. Certainly, most people have had the feeling that everything in their own lives is significantly harder and slower than it is for other people. But consider that with your destructive impatience, you are surely destroying your own happiness that you have only just built up. Perhaps you should scale down your high expectations of yourself. Enjoy simplicity again and get to know the wonderful treasures it contains. Now, definitely what I found in my own life is the more that was taken and stripped back and lost from my life. Some of you may know I'm homeless right now. I'm actually staying with my mum, so I have got somewhere to stay, but I lost my own home, and I have been homeless before as well, and I've lost everything at some point in my life, even my own health. I don't take anything for granted now, and I think when you are in that place of where things are maybe taken out of your life for a while, when they come back, you appreciate them so much more. And definitely what I found when I began fasting as well, that when you go back to eating food, everything just feels more vibrant and more alive, and your taste buds really appreciate each individual flavor. So sometimes we do take things for granted, and we need to go through a period of not having them in our lives, so that when we have them back again, we really appreciate them. And sometimes things are taken for us to realize that maybe we didn't need them in our lives in the first place. So this is about changing how we think. Now, we can learn a lot from our beliefs, and very often we have thoughts and beliefs that aren't actually ours. I'll give you an example of this because as I was revising this information and this script for you guys, I had a memory of my dad. Now, I don't want to call him out in any way, but this just really highlights how ancestral patterns and family patterns can really play a part in your own life when you are unconscious to it. So his opening statement, when he would get a phone call, this is what I remember from a child, and I actually think he still does it. And somebody will say, obviously, how are you doing? You know, how's it going? How's life right now? And his opening statement would be like, just struggling along. Now, obviously, that would have, like, I would have soaked that up, and it would be there in the subconscious that is a family rule. So then what happens is you go into a self-sabotage cycle, and that's something that I have definitely had to work very hard to break out of. Because what happens is if you stray off your family pattern rule, if you stray off that rule and go down a different path, there's like an alarm system goes off in your mind, and it's like, you can't go down that path because that doesn't tie in with your rules. You know, you're gonna see that there's much more to life. You're really gonna realize that things that don't have to be quite such a struggle, that it's easier down this path. You're not allowed down there. So then you will start self-sabotaging. You'll start messing things up on a subconscious level most of the time until you're a little bit more savvy of what's going on. And you'll be left thinking, well, why am I back in this struggle again? You know, life was great, and now all of a sudden I'm back here again. And it is because you haven't quite come to terms with the fact that you're locked into this family pattern. So we have to realize now that life is way more abundant than we realize. Sometimes when we're locked into the matrix 3D way of seeing life, we're really focused on material things. Now that really then puts us on a way of thinking that abundance has to appear in a certain way. But in actual fact, abundance, it covers so much. And I think we're in a place now as a collective of beginning to realize just what true abundance really means. So going out in nature and just seeing what's there is true abundance. You know, the time that you spend with those that are most important to you, your family, your friends, you know, your health, you know, all these things that we just take for granted on a day-to-day is true abundance. Laughing, you know, having fun with somebody, you know, good conversations, you know, a good book, you know, really appreciating the time it's taken for somebody to make an amazing artwork. You know, all these things, like I said, we just take them for granted. So life doesn't have to be such a struggle, and we have so much abundance. So this is all about changing how we think about ourselves, changing how we think about life, and changing how we think about the world in which we live. So we're really changing our perspective. And once we change our perspective, we then actually can change our whole life. So it may not be that your whole life just like that transforms, but by seeing your life in a brand new way, you can actually transform your whole reality. So in actual fact, that can happen just like that. Something just switches on in your mind and you start to see life in a whole new way. So you start to realize that maybe your life wasn't lacking in quite the way you first thought, and that maybe life doesn't have to be as difficult as what you are telling yourself. So it's just about changing things up. So if you would like to take part in this EFT tapping, It's really important that we are fully hydrated before we begin energy work or EFT tapping. So if you haven't had a drink yet, or you don't have any water at hand, then please pause this video and go and get yourself a nice glass of water. I'm just going to take a sip of water myself before we begin. Now, I'm also very aware that there may be some of you that are watching this video right now that are a little bit concerned about tapping on your face. So what I've decided to do is I've broken this into 3 tapping chunks, so 3 tapping rounds. So the first round, what I'm going to do is share with you a way to tap that misses out your face, and then it's up to you if you want to continue using it that way or go back to how I normally do it, which I will do for the second and third rounds. And it's also really good, seeing as we want to be bringing these extreme thoughts and feelings down, to mark on a scale of 0 to 10 how extreme your thoughts and feelings are around the story that you're lacking right now and the story that your life is a struggle. So if it's really extreme right now, it's going to be right up there on a 10. And if you don't have any issue with this at all, you know, it doesn't really resonate with you right now, it's going to be right down on a 0. So you might want to find something else to tap on. Obviously you're free to stay and enjoy. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do first of all, so that we're all clear. So we're going to start on the karate chop point, as we always do, with our opening statement. Then we are going to go to the chest, this fleshy part here on both sides. So we're going to tap there. Then we're going to go down to our ribs, and the bit that just juts out, the top ribs that are just starting to jut out, we're going to tap lightly on there. And then you're going to give yourself a nice hug, wrap your arms around yourself and tap on the side of the ribs there. Then we are going to go to this fleshy bit here and tap our hands lightly together on that fleshy part. We are going to go back to the karate chop point and lightly tap both our hands like that together. And then we are going to go to the top of the head. Now, there will be no issue about tapping on the face if your hands are clean. Obviously, if your hair and clothes are clean, totally understand where that thinking is coming from. So by showing you this way, it's just showing you that there's an alternative. So if you want to keep using EFT tapping, then this alternative way is available to you. Okay, so have you got your number on the scale? So you might want to mark that down or keep a note of that in your head, and we'll come back to that at a later stage. So taking full responsibility for yourself and for your well-being. Even though my life is really lacking right now. And even though I'm finding life is a real struggle. I'm just going to take this time today to honor how I feel. And even with all these thoughts and feelings around lack and struggle, I choose to take this time to gift myself with unconditional self-love and deeply and completely love and accept myself. And maybe be open to forgive myself and anyone else who may have played a part in, teaching me that life has to be such a struggle, and that a lens of lack is the only way to see myself and life and the world in which I live. Okay, starting on the chest. All this lack I am experiencing in my life, all the things I am missing out on, all the things I am not seeing in my life, all the things I really want, that right now I feel like I really need. But I don't have any of it in my life right now. All these things that I want to experience. All these things that I really want to have. Places I want to go. People I want to meet. Yet all I see is lack. My life is full of difficulties. Every day I am faced with difficulties. Yeah, my life is really difficult. And I'll be open to say, my life is really hard right now. It's hard being me. It's not easy. It's not easy to live my life. In fact, looking back, my whole life has just been one big struggle. I'm going to honour how I feel today. What if my life is always like this? What if I never get to experience any of those things that I really want to experience? What if I never have the things that I really want? What if my life this life looks like this forever? What if my life is going to be this way forever? I never get to meet those people. I never get to go to those places. All those places that I really wish to visit. What if this is just the way it's meant to be? What if this is as good as it gets? My load feels so heavy. I feel so weighed down. So weighed down by my thoughts and feelings. Okay, so we're just going to take a pause here now, shake ourselves off, take some nice deep breaths, nice deep breath in, and release all that stagnant energy. Nice deep breath in, brand new, fresh energy. And release all that yucky, stuck, stagnant energy. One more nice deep breath in, brand new stories we're going to tell ourselves. And release all the old story. Okay, so this video is taking longer than I expected it to. So I'm going to stop this now and do a part 2 where I will share the other parts of the EFT tapping. So I hope this one has helped you, and I will see you in part 2. Goodbye for now.